How are we going, everybody? Now I'm going to prepare another garden bed because I've got so many of them, and the pleasure of doing it like this is that I don't plant everything at once, so I don't have all my tomatoes or cucumbers or capsicums all harvesting at once. Surely by the end of summer there'll be plenty to harvest, but this way at least I can start picking continuously, and maybe I'll get a longer harvest season out of the last ones I plant. So today we're going to prepare this bed. Is one of the hotter beds because it's facing north. It's on the north side of all the garden beds. You can see all the beds leading back down to the end, to the far end, which are the potatoes. This little bed behind there with the six-way cane connectors and the wildlife netting, it's got a little bit of greens. We've got some broccoli that's self-germinated. We've got silver beet, lettuce in there. We had some mustard have taken out of there as well. We've got some chicory. So there's a little bit of a mismatch going on in there. That's fine. Here, we're going to plant tomatoes on this side and that side. And rather than down the middle, I'm going to leave a pathway so I can walk through here. So tomatoes on either side, maybe a couple of lettuce leaves or something small at the base of that, but that's about it. So, step one, we weed the garden. And look what I've got growing in here. A little bit of everything. Hey, you gotta love this. This is the roots from the fig tree. If you've never seen the roots of a fig tree, here you go. That's just one little taproot running there. Now the fig tree is over there. And it's about what, 3, 4, 5 meters, 6 meters at least. It's over here at the moment and it's still running through underneath. We have to compete with the roots, but we're just going to raise the soil here. We're not going to build the bed up on this one at the moment. So we're just going to tolerate what's going on underneath it and keep it well hydrated so it doesn't dry out. Next, aerate the soil. Now we add our black grit, 1 handful per square metre, and our worm castings. And now we spread a small layer of chicken manure over the top. And now for a delicious layer of our native mix here. Oh, look, let me just talk about this one for a second. Look how beautiful it is. Oh, I just love it. It's breaking down tremendously well, full of life. Bugs as well, and worms. Look, worms everywhere. Look, worms, all that. Just 3 there in that little clump. Gotta love worms. So this is going to help aerate the soil, stop it from being so sandy. And now for a little bit of biochar, activated charcoal, folks, which should have gone down a little bit earlier, but it doesn't matter. We can mix it through anyway. It's a little bit more than a little bit, isn't it? Now we're going to mix it through, but we're going to use the garden fork so we don't have it scattering everywhere. So a gentle mix like that. Just top and turn. And you'll find that the bark will always find its way down to the bottom and the sand will end up on top. And get rid of the weeds while you're at it. Never enough weeding going on in the garden beds, I reckon. Now we hydrate it so we can activate it all. Starts bringing it all together. Now we plant our tomatoes. Folks, I'm putting 3 on each side. The mesh is all the way down so I can train it straight onto there. Here we're going to need to put a string all the way down, tie it to the base of the tomato and train the tomato up until it gets to this mesh up the top. We've done that before. Check out our videos beforehand so you can see how we do that. Where's my little spade now? It's still dry at the bottom. See how dry it is? We've hydrated this really well, but obviously not enough to get down deep below, so we're going to have to put the hose on it again after we finish planting. Not too bad. Now, these were grown using garden mix, not potting mix. This is actually the garden mix I made a long time ago when I first dug out the garden bed on the other side where we finished building the raised bed. And I mixed in the bark and all that sort of stuff. So that's what these have been grown into. I didn't grow these myself. I actually gave some soil to a good friend of mine and he grew them on and he's giving me some extra tomatoes. Not that I need any more. So these are Bill's tomatoes. Bill, the taxi driver. See, the hydration and the dryness is because we've got no mulch on top. What you're seeing here now, it looks dry to you. Well, come over here. Look at this. That's what it started off like. This is what we have, literally had beforehand. And in the last, well, how long has it taken you to watch this? About 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes maybe longer. We've turned it into this. It bonds, it holds, and it can break away easily. So we've got a bit of everything going on in there. So these tomatoes, we'll come back and we'll monitor them. Make sure you remember the size, what they look like, and we'll come back in about a week and see what they're doing. Another thing about tomatoes, folks, when you plant them, and I'm not sure if all of you have got yours in the ground yet. Look at these, look at this mess. Wait, oh God. All right, let me just get this out of the way, pretend that didn't happen. More weeds. With tomato plants, so this is a little bit taller. Taking off these bottom leaves, so what we're going to do is we're going to plant this slightly different to the other ones because it's already got the height on it. And break up the soil a little bit. Not going to hurt the plant at all. Just be gentle with it when you do it. Now what we do here is we dig a little trench like that, long one. This is where we want the plant to come out of here. So we lay this down like that and we lift the top up. Now what that does is wherever the stem is contacting soil, it will throw off new roots. So imagine that being a stem. Well, we've got a tomato plant here. All this here, and you'll notice it on some of your plants that are close to the soil surface. Sometimes you see all these little white bumps on them. That's not a disease, it's not a pest or anything like that. They are roots trying to develop. So if you see any lumps along the side of your stem, that means it's trying to push out more roots. Now, if that stem, like this one here now that I've covered in soil, that will actually cause it. That's enough microbe activity on there for it to actually cause it to grow roots. Now, by burying it down like that, I'm forcing the plant to grow more roots along that stem, which means bigger roots, bigger plant, stronger plant, as long as we look after the soil and the environment around it. And now we mulch on top, and I'm doing it last this time, folks, because I've only got 3 tomato plants in each bed, so it's easy enough to mulch around it. The mulch is a beautiful blanket to protect your soil, the microbes, the moisture, the heat, the cold, and I'm also going to place some in the middle. I'm not going to leave the soil exposed as I got still other garden beds or pathways to fill in, folks. So if you're going to create pathways, it's always better to mulch it on top, so at least you're activating it as well. So you're going to be compacting the soil, but you don't want it to go hard and sterile and dry and all that sort of stuff. So a bit of mulch will protect that as well, and it won't dry up so quick. And you'll notice here, if I was to leave this bed like that, you can see it already. The hydration on either side, the dehydration in the middle will heat up the area, the microclimate, and it will dry up the soil a lot quicker too. So one other thing I've never spoken about is how to water a plant in detail. I'm not going to go into it now, but one thing I need to say is that when you water a garden bed, don't just water around the base of a plant. Water the entire bed if you can. Hydrate the entire bed, because that surrounding soil that's dry is like a dry sponge. So as soon as you add a little bit of water to the one side, that dry side's going to suck it all away there, so it'll dehydrate straight away. And that's what happens with garden beds. When you water only around the plant, the surrounding dry soil sucks it all out and the plant wilts before you even finish watering. Now we're going to put some liquid gold in here, folks, which is our seaweed solution, certified organic by the way also, so no harsh chemicals or preservatives or colorings or flavors. About 20 mil I'm putting in, and it says about 40 mil per 9 litres of water on average, but you can do it at half strength and apply it on a weekly basis if you like. And this is our EK Butch. This is our natural forming peptides, amino acids and all the stuff that you need. This liquid gold will protect your plants from hot, cold weather, insects, disease, so it strengthens its immune system, its immunity, and it's able to defend itself. Whereas the EK Butch is for all that growth you get that you need for your plants to have the vitality in them. Now I'm going to give a little bit to each one, and I recommend you do this with all your garden plants. It's something I haven't done for a while on the camera, that is, to show that I've been using my liquid fertilizers. And you see I've taken the rose head off because I wanted to soak in straight into the root zone there. I need the plant to get it itself nice and hydrated. Just like that there. Yes, we will apply again with the rose head on to hydrate the mulch, because at the end of the day it'll activate the mulch and microbes will kick in, and it all works its way down to the root zone where it's needed the most. So get your EK Butch and liquid gold into your garden weekly, otherwise fortnightly, like that, and your plants will thank you for it, very much so. Now, it is the last weekend. No, it isn't. It's the second last weekend. We've got a couple more coming up before Christmas, but the online team have given you the opportunity to be able to buy a huge range of garden products, Vasili's Choice products. There's a tab there which says Vasili's Choice free products, free delivery, that is, not free products. So go to that tab so you don't have to pay for the delivery on those products. Black Grit, Liquid Gold, EK Butch combinations, cutting tools, a lot of products there for you to be able to enjoy in the garden for Christmas. Get your orders in this weekend by Monday Monday, so you can guarantee yourself or close to a full 100% guarantee of getting it delivered by Christmas to your house to pass out as Christmas gifts. It's a huge range at Vasili'sGarden.com. Check it all out and don't forget to subscribe to the magazine. It's a classic. You're going to love it. Maresi.